it doesn't matter who you loved and what you wanted and what you thought and what you believed. You gave that power away. It goes back to moral hazard. We talked about moral hazard. You gave that power away when you did not prepare. So now, because you didn't prepare, the state is going through and deciding who should get, the $100,000 that's in his account. The state is deciding who should get the 200,000 in the insurance policy. The state's deciding who matters and who doesn't, right? And so I would encourage you to just have that conversation, because when you don't want the state deciding how your family is going to operate itself. Also, a couple more things that can happen when you don't make a plan is probate is terrible. The delays can be super long, months, even years, especially if it's contested. Especially if and this is the other thing too. This is why I put in the film. You notice that because you know we call him AI voice, because AI voice did not make a plan. Then you saw the people that were mad, like he owed me money and he told me he was going to give me money, and somebody else is pissed off because somebody done said something to somebody else. And next thing you know, the people that used to love each other are all fighting. They're all fighting. And that's because and this happens all the time. This has happened for thousands of years throughout history. Whenever the leadership does not lead, you have a power vacuum. Whenever the leader does not lead, you have a power vacuum. And whenever there's a power vacuum, tribalism ensues and war begins. There's a war because what you do is when you have strong leadership, you've been big mama for 30 years and you always made the decisions, or you're the father and you've always had a certain leadership role. Now you're gone. Well, then suddenly you can have people fighting for power and fighting for what they think they deserve. And so the only way you can prevent the war is with clarity in your decision making. This is a universal idea. Go watch Game of Thrones, which is basically a show about a bunch of crazy white people fighting each other for power. And you'll see, if you study Game of Thrones the way I love it, it's a great show. All of the chaos ensued because of a power vacuum, because they had a strong king who had all the power to decide who was going to get what. And because his decision was ambiguous, because he didn't clearly state his intention, there was war, there was chaos. And the whole kingdom fell apart because cousins were killing cousins and brothers were killing sisters and all this other stuff. So I'm telling you, this does not just happen on TV. This happens in families all throughout this country. So what I'm asking you to do, and the reason I embarrass myself by making this little film, is to help you understand the dynamics of what happens in millions of families when nobody makes a plan, when nobody even sits down at the dinner table and at least just writes on a piece of paper, this is what I want. Say you could start off with an email to the people you love, pick the top 5 people and say, hey, I just want y'all to have this email just in case I die by 3 o'clock this afternoon. And I just want you to know, if I die, I want this person to get this person to get that. It ain't the same as a legal document. Don't get me wrong. It's not an estate plan. It's not a will, but at least it's some kind of evidence. Do you understand? Because here's the thing, you cannot give evidence beyond the grave. Once you're dead, you're dead. Once you're dead, the Grim Reaper doesn't care. He don't care how much, he don't care what kind of schedule you got this week. He don't care how many people are dependent on you. He doesn't care how many dreams and hopes you have. He doesn't care how busy you are. He don't give a damn. He's like, oh, your time to go. You're gone. Next thing you know, there's chaos because people are like, oh my God, this one person was supposed to do this and do that, and they were handling this and handling that, and they're the only one who knows the password. Well, when Kevin Samuels died suddenly, and I bet you he didn't expect to die. I'm not sure, but I would assume Kevin had plans.